All right, listen now. Hey, listen. Embrace the process of getting better. This team is getting better and better and better. Big strides every day we've been out here. Big strides. Not little ones, big ones. Okay? Haven't seen that here since I've been the head coach. Really haven't. Even our first year. This team is taking huge strides every time you take in the field this spring. Let's make sure this is practice 6, correct? Yes, sir. Okay. Let's make sure that with practice 6, we're even better than we were in 5. Boom. Stay on line!
We're going to ball all day tomorrow. Sun out tonight.
All right, let's have a great week. Let's get a break. We'll go.
Hey, Birds, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Birds.
He got it.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy. And check out the all-new EcoSport. Protect those who matter most. And make the summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now during the Ford Summer Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months on a huge selection of SUVs. And for the first time ever, get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 Ford bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport.
Today is the start of a transformation. A celebration of the what-ifs and the why-nots. Because who says what is what has to be. And who says today is as good as it gets. We're for the bold step, for the breakthrough, for the next day and the next. We're for tomorrow. Advocate Healthcare. Tomorrow starts today.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
With a bunch of new position coaches, I don't even know how many we got. 6 of them, I want to say, new position coaches. You would think that that's going to be a struggle, and I think Coach Beck did a good job of hiring a lot of guys that kind of work with our program and that can relate personally. As seniors, like talking to us, like, you know, hey, we haven't been with you the past 4 years, but I'm going to be with you, and that was a huge selling point for me on Coach Hendricks. Because the first day I talked to him, I had about an hour and a half meeting with him. I think that was a huge selling point on where I decided to start, you know, trusting and going in with the process of our program and with the new coaches. And I think with spring ball, having them out there and they know what they're doing, they show that they're knowledgeable in football, and I think that was another selling point for us, and I think that's how everybody was able to seamlessly transition into the new coaching staff.
Pull faster, stay on that inside hip, good. Stay on that inside hip, finish it, good. Finish it, good. Good, 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 good. Now I want to show off.
My name's Travis Niekamp. I'm the defensive coordinator and specifically coach inside linebackers here. This is home. I had a phenomenal experience here as a player, as a student. Coached my first few years of college here, so I was here roughly about 7 years as an athlete and as a professional young coach, and knew that this was a great place to raise a family. I've got 3 kids, happily married to a fantastic wife, and I thought, what a better place to go back home, and a home that you really like, that you really enjoy. And on top of all that, this is as close as we've ever been to our family, who my wife's family and my family both still live up in central Wisconsin, so it's the closest we've ever been with our kids' age, and it's, you know, they get a little bit older. we keep getting older, and it's a nice opportunity to be able to stay close.
Come on, Dylan. Come on. Nice job. That's the way to run that alley. Keep your head up. Attack the ball.
I want things to make simpler in all phases of the game. You know, particularly on defense, I thought we got a little complicated, and so we made some things simpler. And man, the players really took to it.
Let's go. Hustle back. Nice job, Swain. Let's go. Get a little juice, a little swag, right? I ain't much enthusiasm today. No excuse for it. Let's go.
You know, coming back into the program, I think Coach Back has really kind of turned this thing into a very, very, very solid program, obviously, beyond solid. And to be able to come back to a place that's really risen from a success standpoint, especially in the sport that you're involved in, is pretty cool.
Eyes, pad level. There you go, G. Look like a ballpark, 55. Good.
We were all wondering what the new coaches would be like, but honestly, I don't think things are too different. Like, transitioning from the changes they made to the defense, I think it went pretty smoothly, actually.
It's a nice job. I said it's a nice fill. Good, Wash. Hey, that's good. It's good. There's guard pulls we got to read out of that, right? There's no reason to go anymore. You with me? I'd rather know that now than in September, you know.
But it's an adjustment, and it's a fun adjustment because, you know, I think a lot of people fear change. I think change is growth, ultimately, and that's kind of how I've always approached it. I've obviously, like I talked earlier, changed quite a bit in my profession, and this is just another stage in it, and we're excited about it and embracing it.
I felt that we needed to, change the vibe a little bit. It's about our players and it's about our program, and I felt it was really important to reboot, if you will, I guess, and reset, where we were at. And I couldn't be happier. It was very difficult. I felt it was something that needed to be done, and the energy level has jumped immensely, and the vibe around here, the positive vibe around the office has been completely different. That all comes down to results, obviously. We'll see how we do in the fall. But right now I couldn't be happier where we're at, and the way the players have taken to the new coaches. And I won't call them, the systems aren't new, the systems are pretty similar, but there's been some tweaks on both sides of the ball. But more tweaks about, I want the coaching staff to emphasize technique and toughness, and more technique than scheme, and that's really what they did. They did a great job of that in the spring.
There we go!
We had a great spring. I felt like getting used to each other, getting well known with one another. And they came in with attitude, with a fresh, just fresh thoughts on what they have for this team, where we can go, where we can be. And it's nothing but, championships on our mind.
But knowing the coaches, they came to me the first day I got here and just introduced themselves. And I had heard of a lot of them through just the coaches' grapevine and whatever. But I know a lot of groups that are really well in spring, and just hearing the hype around the program, I think we're all really excited.
Being a part of a new staff and kind of getting to be able to shake guys' hands for the first time and spending some time with them is an adventure. We're in a unique profession in that we're all tied to this thing. We're all tied to the outcome of football games. We're all tied to the development of the football players. And because of that, you're going to get everybody's best foot forward.
Good.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy. And check out the all-new EcoSport. Protect those who matter most. And make the summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now during the Ford Summer Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months on a huge selection of SUVs. And for the first time ever, get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 Ford bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport.
Today is the start of a transformation. A celebration of the what-ifs and the why-nots. Because who says what is what has to be. And who says today is as good as it gets. We're for the bold step, for the breakthrough, for the next day and the next. We're for tomorrow. Advocate Healthcare. Tomorrow starts today.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Put it in a shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
Run through the ball. Right there, perfect.
You know, I think I'm excited about this season. You know, I think we have a good team. I really like that. I really like their attitude. We had a really good spring practice. Our summer's been very good. And obviously there's some pieces that need to come together to have that special season. And but I think we have the heart and soul of what we need.
Well, we're trying to find out what is our niche going to be. What's our identity? Is it going to be to run the ball? Is it be able to throw the ball? Is it be able to put the best personnel on the field? So we're trying to get to that spot right now so we can do what our players do best. We're not necessarily going to be the same team we were in 14 and 15. We want to do what our quarterbacks can do well, take advantage of our talent on our offense, and be consistent offensively regardless of the scheme we're running.
My name is Brian Anderson, and I coach the receivers.
So you want to stay your distance. If he runs hard, just slide inside of him.
I had the opportunity to go to Southern Illinois with Jerry Kill and was with him at Southern Illinois for 7 years. From there, we went to Northern Illinois, and from there went to University of Minnesota for 6 years. Probably the number one thing I've taken from Coach Kill is learn how to take care of your players. The reason you have a job is because of the players. And you have to demand a lot out of your players, but at the end of the day, they'll respect you more when you're honest with them.
Drive it in there. Drive it in there. I mean, there was a couple good things, but it's just still not where we want to go. I promise you, if we drop balls now, I can't trust you. I'm just telling you. I'll give you numbers of guys I've coached for years. They'll tell you, hey, if you don't catch the ball, he ain't playing you. I won't. I'm just telling you.
Obviously, we don't have much. They're not very veteran other than Spence. They have the talent, they run good routes. They just really need to, it's mental for them. They just got to know where they got to be. They got to know the little things within running the routes that'll help them get open. And obviously Coach Beathard is great at coaching that, but Coach Anderson's awesome.
That's better, that's better. It's all about trust.
He's got a really good knowledge of the receiver position. He's been around a lot of football, and listening to him talk, he knows his stuff. So I know the receivers will be ready, and we'll be ready to go.
The worst thing you can do at that spot is go where he's at. Go to where he's going. Because you get ahead, that's where you got to slow down like you did, which is a good job. But now if I don't beat him too bad, let him just stay in front of me, right there.
You know, I start from the fundamental, from a stance to catching the football, to understanding defenses. Having a good football IQ can take a guy a long way. He may not be the fastest, but his base fundamentals are really good. He's got a good concept of what the offense is trying to get accomplished. He understands what the defense is trying to do. So I think my style is more the old school approach of making sure guys understand the game of football. The experience with these guys here has been great. You know, starting from the bottom, with some of them played last year as true freshmen, and then seeing their development as they go during the spring has been great. Bringing in a guy named Braxton Haley, that's been awesome, to the room, and then having a guy like Spencer back in the room as a senior who was an all-conference player in this league last year, it really helps the room also. So I think the biggest thing, continue to learn the offense as a group, and I think we'll be as good as we want to be.
Hold on. You gotta hit it. Retrace your steps at the angle just like this. So now I'm catching the ball, and I'm right here.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy. And check out the all-new EcoSport. Protect those who matter most. And make the summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now during the Ford Summer Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months on a huge selection of SUVs. And for the first time ever, get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 Ford bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport.
Today is the start of a transformation. A celebration of the what-ifs and the why-nots. Because who says what is what has to be. And who says today is as good as it gets. We're for the bold step, for the breakthrough, for the next day and the next. We're for tomorrow. Advocate Healthcare. Tomorrow starts today.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Put it in a shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
And effort is the one thing that you can control. Your focus, you can control. You can tell the guys that have focus, and you can tell the guys that don't have focus. The NFL makes a career out of trying to figure that out. They don't do it right all the time, but that's what they try to figure out. Okay? Will you portray the effort? Will you portray the focus that you need to have to be successful as a football player? Everybody got that? Sure. So let's make sure we understand that, because these next 2 weeks are very important in that process. Okay, everybody got that? Effort on 2, 1, 2! Effort! No. No more shakes,
Coach Lathrop, he's always been one of the most excited people in the weight room, and he always brings energy to when it's time to lift. So, and along with that, he pushes us to have that same energy, if not more energy, when we start our lift.
He's been a dirty little secret every place I've been since University of Wyoming, Purdue, and now here. He's worth 2 wins a year at least, 2 more wins because of how he approaches the weight room and the conditioning and speed development of our players.
He always seeks the best for the best what's in you, and that guy, man, he keeps going. He keeps going and he keeps going. He has his struggles that he wakes up with every day. And when you see a man like that, wake up with those struggles every day, and he comes out, and he still wants the better for you, the better for the team. It puts a kind of nicer fire in your heart, to want to go out there and get better for him.
You put the restrictions that, having a disease like Parkinson's has on a person, it's difficult. And he's done very, very well, and I'm just amazed when I watch him. And I think our players, it's an inspiration to our players. I don't know how it couldn't be, and how you can go out there and complain about being tired when you see what he does every day.
There's not many better people out there than Coach Lathrop. He's got a great attitude every day, and it rubs off on everyone else. So going in there, it really is fun, and it's probably one of the most things that I've enjoyed the most in my time here is lifting weights and being in there with the guys and with Coach Lathrop.
My first impression of Coach Lathrop was, this older guy is going to be the one doing our strength coach stuff. Everybody that I've always met, they were all, younger and, doing the lifts with their team and everything. And you can just tell by the way he talks that he knows what he's doing, that he is going to be able to prepare us and to improve us and get better.
He's fought through a lot of stuff, so I think he's a huge inspiration for all our players. I don't know how, and I think I know how much they respect him and really enjoy him and being around him. But he's demanding, but I think they see a lot of results from his work. It's always new and it's always different. It's always, there's always opportunities that you've learned something in a past situation that you can apply to a new situation, or maybe a different twist on a situation where, maybe something you dealt with before worked this way, and now if I'd maybe done it this way, it might have worked better, and that kind of thing. So there's always the challenge of something new. There's always the challenge of dealing with new athletes. As we go on as a society, times are always changing. People are always changing. Even though from a programming standpoint, we do many things that are very similar to things I've done my entire career, there's always a new way to find a little twist, to put a little spin on it, to motivate somebody, to get them more fired up about what they're doing, to be able to address issues or problems that we're having, whatever it might be. And so that's really the challenge, and that's the fun of it all, is because you're dealing with human beings, and human beings are never exactly the same.
Get up on that line, be ready to go.
Nothing else I would rather do than that. That interaction, I think, is what really makes it for me. It's not like I'm digging ditches, It's not like I'm out there. My dad slogged through years of knocking sand out of castings with a big hammer in a room that had an ambient temperature of 130 degrees, and he did that. Went to college and went to seminary all at the same time so that he could put food on my plate. So to me, this is easy.
I've done this for like 35 years, right? And I swear to God, it feels like I had my first talk with a group of guys back in 1983 or 84. And it feels like it was just yesterday, okay? You'd be amazed how quick this all goes. That's why there's always a sense of urgency. That's why we always ask you to pick up the tempo, okay? Because that lengthens the time that you have. In other words, it gives you more opportunity, greater opportunities, and that kind of thing. Does everybody understand that?
Sure.
What you do with your time is so valuable, fellas. What you do with your time is so valuable. Please take advantage of it, okay? Everybody got that?
Sure.
Don't let time waste. Don't put the time aside. All right, everybody got that? Let's get a break.
Birds on 2, 1, 2. Birds.
The camera come out, boy. He get it. Pick up.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy. And check out the all-new EcoSport. Protect those who matter most. And make the summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now during the Ford Summer Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months on a huge selection of SUVs. And for the first time ever, get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 Ford bonus cash on the 2018 EcoSport.
Today is the start of a transformation. A celebration of the what-ifs and the why-nots. Because who says what is what has to be. And who says today is as good as it gets. We're for the bold step, for the breakthrough, for the next day and the next. We're for tomorrow. Advocate Healthcare. Tomorrow starts today.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
All right, man, be safe. All right, you too.
Yep, I already bought 2 parking passes for
There?
Yeah.
Perfect. So then you'll get that later. Did you have to go over or
I'm not gonna lie, my first camp was awful. We had a couple of guys get injured. I went from being on the 3s and 4s scout team group, whatnot, to being a 2. And that sucked. But to look back at it now, it made me realize the importance of getting better in the weight room, getting stronger, adding more weight, preparing myself to know what I'm supposed to do on every single play.
All right, fellas. Everybody sit up here, straighten your chairs. Feet flat on the ground. Make sure hats are off. Eyes are up here. Always learn how to listen. Okay, get better every time you take the field. You either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same. We're going to work, you can compete, and make sure you have fun.
I remember my first fall camp. I know it really feels like a grind because as a freshman, I have never experienced something like that where it was football every day, all day. And so you do that for a month straight, and then it really felt like a grind. But at this point, and the experience I have going to fall camp, is I kind of know what to expect, and then I know how to succeed through fall camp, and so I'm just kind of looking forward to it at this point.
Yeah, that first camp was, that was an experience for sure. It's always something new, when you come in as a freshman, you're hit with some obstacles, and you got to overcome those, and there was a lot of obstacles in that first fall camp. It's hot out there, you're going out there every day, you're working hard, you're working really hard. Then you come in the means, and you got to focus up for the means, study film, and it starts to kind of feel overwhelming a little bit, but you get through it, and if you really embrace it, man, you come out way better than you came in.
The defense is using a really interesting saying. Nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares. Now, is that true? Not really. We care. All right, but your opponent hopes you have a bad day. Praying that you have a bad attitude. So nobody cares. Work harder. Accountability. We're all accountable to each other in this room. Hold each other accountable, period. Hold yourself accountable and hold your teammates accountable. And that's another goal of our seniors. That's another goal. Holding you accountable, yourself, and your teammates in everything you do. Leadership, ownership. You got to take ownership of this football team. Leadership and ownership. Diamond doesn't have to be in that chair right now. Okay, he graduated already. And he turned down a job that paid 6 figures to come back to play college football. Now, someone will probably check his whole card because his brains are great. Quite a deal. It shows you the character of him. Hey, the character of him and what this football team means to him.
I felt like spring ball has never gone by faster than it did this year, and I think a lot of people thought that too. Everyone was really enjoying it, enjoying the learning and the competition that was taking place out on the field. So hopefully we can bring that to fall camp and keep things going like that.
Begin! R-E-D-B